Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. We got a lot to talk about today. KD and Shannon Sharpe feuding. We're handing out our Booger Boy of the Week award. Talking about Aaron Donald taking on all comers, Steph going crazy, injuries to Jamal Murray, and a bunch more NBA stuff. As always, Jenkins and Jonez is hosted by my good buddies, the Jethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, guys?
Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
That was long as fuck.
Oh, my fucking God.
Hey, we gonna figure it out, though. Hey, we gonna figure it out.
All right, we have to start as we do. It feels like every other episode at this point with talking about Kevin Durant's activity on social media. Shannon Sharpe, first of all, come on, Shannon fucking Sharpe, got on camera and read out a obviously fake quote attributed to Kevin Durant by one of those people who has like fourth grade Photoshop skills and put out a quote saying, I think he said his rings count for more than Braun's rings because, you know, he beat Braun in the back-to-back finals, whatever else. I mean, I'd say fairly obviously a fake quote. And Shannon read it and then was like shit talking him. Tyler, what did you think of the exchange between KD and Shannon Sharpe? And was Shannon Sharpe right to block Kevin Durant on Twitter?
That's the funniest shit ever that he blocked Kevin Durant, because it's like, bro, your whole fucking career is talking sports and you block like a top 2 NBA player. Like, what the fuck are we even doing here? But, I thought it was hilarious because, you know, KD is very fucking entertaining to me on Twitter because he is very much a Twitter guy, right? Like, he engages in Twitter arguments the way Joe Schmo sports fans engage in Twitter arguments, but he's talking about himself in these arguments that he engages in, right? So it's like some next level KD. Shit. Yeah, right. So it's some next level shit there that I still can't really wrap my head around. But you know, I thought it was funny, but I figured out I'm the old guy now who goes, what about the kids? And I say that genuinely because I think that Shannon didn't set a good precedent here by running with such misinformation, doubling down, not apologizing, not clearing it up, you know, because I think that kind of shows to young people who kind of want to get into the sports journalism game, you know, sensationalism by all costs. Even if you're running on a lie, if you're running on something fabricated, if you're running on a fucking Photoshop fake quote, you know, that's what will get you engagement. And, you know, I think that was probably a good moment for Shannon to step to the forefront and say, I messed up. That was misinformation. I got to do better. And I will do better fact checking in the future. Apologies, Katie. Like, I think that could have set a real good precedent here.
What I think is weird about him blocking KD is he blocked KD for what he does every day, which is talk shit about sports on camera, gets paid good money for it. KD talks shit to him, and then he blocks him. Bro, what the fuck, my G? That doesn't make any sense. Also, what I love is like GOAT analyst, fucking 12 followers, is the one who called Shannon out and tweeted at KD, and KD retweeted that joint. Like, bro, somebody with 14 followers got Shannon Sharpe put on the fucking Summer Jam screen. And that's what I love about Twitter. Is a motherfucker that ain't done shit ever on the social media can get that guy, all the way fucking, clown for a full 24 hours. But yeah, the doubling down is weird. You get on there, you say some bullshit. He says, when did I ever say this? You know what I mean? He can say, oh, well, I got this from you know what I mean? It's not difficult. It's an easy mistake, being that when I hit y'all, I'm like, yo, this is fake, or really, like, this is, y'all were like, it's fake. You know what I mean? And I mean, to me, like, I'm like, I don't, when it comes to KD, I don't be knowing if KD would have said it or not, because, I mean, he's a little all over the place, you know what I mean? So he might have said it at some point, but I was wondering, but I mean, it was fake. I mean, it was an honest mistake. Just say that instead of like Tyler, you saying doubling down. That's some weirdo shit. What are we waiting for here?
I thought Tyler, I wanted to wait out the delay.
I was like, yo,
he was picking it up. Okay.
Is there a roach crawling in the back of my fucking
Here we go. Okay.
Like, why are we frozen? What the fuck was that pause, bro? I was like, I got roaches.
I'm trying to give Tyler a 2 count in my head in case delayed and about to hop back in.
Hey, bro, we can't play it like that. We just gonna figure it out.
Okay.
And you know what I mean?
All right, for sure. It's exactly what Tyler said, though, on the misinformation. I think that's it's not just a bad example for young sportscasters. It's also what young athletes are growing up seeing that's leading to that sort of further mistrust and gulf, as we've talked about now that everybody is a pundit on Twitter, right? So what you see if you're a young professional athlete, a high school, college athlete who's about to go pro, you're on Twitter over the last week, you see people jump the gun on proclaiming that DMX had passed away. You see Steve Kerr not that long ago getting upset at a professional broadcaster for taking a quote out of context.
He manipulated that shit.
Manipulating and taking out of context.
Taking out of context and saying it's the kind way of saying.
You're right. What I mean? But people taking stuff out of context, manipulating it. And now even a pretty prominent, commentator does a full-on rant about a Photoshop quote and doesn't go, hey man, it's my bad. It's gonna happen to all of us on Twitter. Like at one point or another, everyone gets got by some Photoshop bullshit, right? So I do feel like Twitter needs to be more helpful, right? I mean, like I've heard this proposed that like Twitter or Facebook could literally use a different font when it's an actual news source that's being linked to, or like there's a lot of things they could do to make it more obvious that you're talking about actual facts as opposed to, I mean, it just feels like we're all, because the NBA's been, let's be honest, because the NBA's been so bad right now, because so many people are injured and everyone's basically just waiting to see who's healthy for the playoffs. We're stuck in a fucking tornado of this kind of shit that it feels like every week we're talking about there was a fight over something that's actually bullshit.
Twitter was helpful though.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter fucked Shannon Sharpe's ass up. Like the masses flamed his ass. You know what I mean?
Twitter users. I'm talking about Twitter, the corporation.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying the users on Twitter did. Because if I'm somebody as I'm a kid and I'm looking at what happened to Shannon afterwards, you know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure I don't want to get my ass ate up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for sure. So I mean, in a way, like you look at it and see, like I wonder if kids, unless you're already a weirdo and you want to go the Skip Bayless route where you just want to be a troll online, you know what I'm saying? You don't want that type of reaction from any of your content. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you do get a wild reaction from some content, you want it to be based on like real research and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like when I said, old boy who I will not speak his name that played with the Celtics, was highly overrated. You know what I'm saying? But I did the research. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, I don't think a person getting in journalists for most reasons would want that type of reaction, even if the engagement was good. It's not good engagement. You know what I mean? It's not a good look.
Yeah. And this was and this was kind of a direct result of how hard Shannon Sharpe goes for Bron, right? Huge Bron stan that he is. And there's people out there who are like, you shouldn't be that devoted to a player. You should be, unbiased. And I don't know if I really ride with that, right? Like I'm all for, Shannon Sharpe being a Bron stan. I'm all for fucking, Levitard being a Heat stan, Simmons being a Celtics stan. I enjoy when journalists actually inflect, their personal fandom. I don't like the tearing down of people as your brand, like that Skip Bayless shit. That's what I can't really fuck with. But dudes hyping people up and teams up, I enjoy that. I'll say that.
I had a question. I completely forgot that shit. Go ahead.
All right. So Shannon Sharpe is Booger Boy nominee number 1. Booger Boy nominee number 2.
Booger Boy 1A.
Booger Boy 1B, right nostril.
He might be Booger Boy 1A though.
Aaron Donald, a man who NFL Defensive Player of the Year, a man who trains with knives to practice his hand-to-hand combat in the trenches, was approached by someone who wanted to fight him in Pittsburgh over the weekend. He apparently punched DeVincent Springs so hard that
DeVincent would be the person.
he's getting sued. There might be charges pressed, but we were looking at this picture like, why would you approach this man with ill intent, bro?
His name is DeVincent. He's been causing ruckus his whole life, dog. DeVincent? Is that his actual name, dog? Bro, a DeVincent is definitely going to get punched so hard in his eye that his ear swells up. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen to a DeVincent. That's his parents' fault, bro. You know what I mean? His parents owe him an apology. You know what I mean? They're the reason that fucking Aaron Donald fucking beaked his ass up. You feel me?
Yeah, it's the story says he bumped into Donald, and then Donald, gave him a how's that? Took him to the right orbital. But what's for to the right eye?
To his fucking brain.
but yeah, when I heard that this stemmed from him getting bumped into, I knew that this dude had to have been an asshole, because you know what I'm saying? No one just gets bumped into and then just, hauls off it, right? Like, you had
this
to
is not a movie,
probably,
dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, he was probably part of me thinks he was probably chasing the bag here, because that settlement is going to be hefty, bro. That's what I'm thinking right now.
When you get punched so hard, your eyeball ends up in your ear canal. You have a pretty easy case to push for the settlement, bro.
Bro, he got to look at you like this. He got to turn to the 90-degree angle. Look at me with a good eye. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck is wrong with this man, dog? Okay, is it worth the settlement? I'm wondering would y'all risk that? Because it looks like it ain't gonna be iron maybe ever again.
What would it take for your face to look like that dude's face? Like, what? Like, honestly, if I were to say I'll write you a check right now.
No, don't say look like that. Just say like to get punched, because you really don't know what's gonna happen. That could see.
You could die. No, seriously. You break your orbital, you could die. 100%.
Some shit could happen. I don't think there's the amount of money that I would want to get punched in the face, by Aaron Donald on some like clean shot like that.
Yeah.
There's
no amount. Yeah, there's no. I don't think I'd take that offer up now, but I think like young 20-something me broke in the club, which is where this happened. I think I would have had a price, bro. We probably could have started the bidding at about 10 stacks. I think 23-year-old broke me who was goddamn living off a hot dog. Bro, I was broke as fuck in my 20s.
Me too, bro.
Yeah, I
was drinking sugar water. 10 stacks still ain't worth me losing half my head. A fourth of his head is swollen, bro. He looked like a Looney Tunes cartoon, bro. If he was fucking Bugs Bunny, he'd be looking back this way, bro. His eyes would have been all
Daffy Duck with his beak spun around.
The bill would have been on the top of his motherfucking head. You know what I mean?
Of course, this means war.
Suffering, succotash, face ass nigga over here. There's no way I want to look like that. You know what I mean?
But yeah, but like I said, broke 20-ish me, I would have. You could have convinced me. Now there's no amount of money. Unless
I'm comfortable now. I'm comfortable. I don't need to risk. I don't need to risk my eyeball rolling down the back of my neck, bro.
But you're not a DeVincent. We're not DeVincents. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I think DeVincents at all times. You know what I mean? Risking it all.
The last pure enjoyment that I feel like Twitter offers us is that the whole fucking platform turns into DeVincents when shit like this happens. I logged on this morning, and before I even knew what had happened, I saw dudes talking about, yeah, I could take a punch from Aaron Donald, or like, yeah, I'd fight Aaron Donald for X million dollars or whatever. And I was like, okay, something stupid has happened, because it's activated this. I could win a fight with a bear. I could survive in a ring with a cheetah. I could take a punch from Aaron Donald. I could score a basket on LaMarcus Aldridge. Like whatever gene that people activate when they log on to Twitter was really activated this morning. And I'm like, you've never spent time around NFL dudes if that thought is anywhere in your fucking brain, bro.
What's the most Vincent ass thing y'all have ever done? What have you done in life that would be Vincent worthy? I think the thing that I've done, as I remember me and Tyler had a podcast where I said, I think I could knock a bull out if I hit him in his jaw. If I got a clean punch to a bull's jaw. Remember I said that dumbass shit? And I was dead serious, not thinking about my hand breaking probably, you know what I mean? Just like, a jaw is weak. You know, I was thinking that, you know what I mean? But that was, I've been looking at bulls a lot.
You're saying what's the most outlandish shit we've
or just dumbest, wildest shit. I mean, there's probably some wild shit I probably can't say that's wilder than that. But I mean, Vincent, you know, I think in this situation, that's the closest thing I've ever said to, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I have any of those moments because I'm fully aware of how fucking, you know, scrawny I am as a human on the scale of things like that. You know what I mean? So I don't really think I have a story like that, bro. Like I don't even want to get in an octagon or a ring with a raccoon, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even want to step in there with a fucking house cat.
House cat? How much would it take for you to get in the ring with a raccoon?
I mean, I can take a raccoon. I just wouldn't want to. You know what I mean?
It's not worth the energy.
You could probably... you know, maybe about 10 steps. I mean, I don't want to kill the raccoon. I'm not an evil fucking person. Like, what would I have to do? Would I have to make the raccoon submit? Would I have to?
You have to make the raccoon tap out. You gotta make it tap out or sleep that motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to hurt a raccoon. Like, I don't even want to do that. So, you know, if you put me in a ring and ask me how long could I run from a rabbit or raccoon or some shit, you know, that's something I would consider. But I don't want to hurt anything.
Jesus Christ.
I'm old and peaceful now, y'all.
Bro, that's why we be crying over everything now, bro. I don't want to hurt a raccoon. A raccoon has hands that would fucking, you know, they hiss at humans. You know what I mean? Like, it would attack you.
I see raccoons
like,
on my walks. I see raccoons on my walks and I would like full on like turn around and go the other direction, bro. Like I just have no interest in that. I would say the most Vincent shit I ever did was I did try to square up with a pit bull one time.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
I had a pit bull coming after me. It was just following me in an interested way, right? And it was following me for a while. And I'm, you know, the anxiety's creeping up. It's that weird situation where you're like,
you got to do something.
Right. You're like, I can't just walk like this until I get to, you know what I mean? So I like turned around and opened up like, what, like, are you going to like, what's going on, bro? And he like got real low and he's looking at, but this motherfucker had been following me for like 3 blocks. Okay. So he started kind of like almost like head faking. He kind of like run forward a couple steps and then stop and then like snarling all this shit. And ultimately it passed and I just went and climbed up on a truck. But in my head, I'm thinking like what you said about the bull, like if he runs at me, I can like dodge to the side and hit him or so, you know what I mean? Like, and I know that this isn't going to happen, but I'm just like, I'm close to school. If I start running, people are going to see this fucking pit chasing me and I'll be fucking Dale for the rest of my fucking life. You know what I mean? Like I can't be the dude that got chased to school by the fucking pit bull. So in my head, I was like, I'd rather try and fight it and potentially die.
I could be that. I could be that in Madison, Alabama, where I was at for high school. You couldn't be that at Poly.
Could be that in Long Beach, bro.
You could be that in Long Beach, bro. That'd be on a rap song, dog. You know what I mean? You couldn't be that. There was one wild dog story I had where I was riding home with some friends and a dog was chasing us. Well, we jumped out the car to drop the homie off, and a dog was loose in the neighborhood. The dog was chasing us. So I jumped on the top of the car and then jumped over a fence, right? To kind of like a wood fence. One other dude did, but another guy couldn't get away. He couldn't get up on the, he struggled. He wasn't as athletic as me and my other friend. So the other friend threw a rock like blindly over the wood fence. And all I heard was, fucked the dog up.
How big was this rock?
It was a big bitch of a rock. It was the Acme Anvil of a rock, bro. The dog was fine afterwards, but it was kind of fucked up. But the dog was really aggressive. And what was wild to me was the chances, dog. The chances. He threw it blindly. He might as well threw it over his back of his head. We didn't know exactly where the dog was at. We just knew our friend was in trouble. And all I remember was the dog sound of the dog. And it was fucked up, but it was also like, oh shit, like it worked. You know what I mean? Oh shit.
Well, that dog learned a life lesson that day. Don't be fucking with people.
That
bro.
dog ain't fucking with no niggas anytime soon. Woo shit. Oh man.
All right. Well, those are our Booger Boys of the week. It's Shannon Sharpe and Vincent.
Vincent is 1A though. Like I said, Vincent is 1A, bro. You don't get punched by Aaron Donald and a bigger Booger Boy 1B.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Chasing the pit bull at that point, bro.
And he got bit. You know what I mean?
All right. We wanted to talk about Steph Curry became the Warriors all-time franchise leader in a game this week that I feel like is exactly what we've just been hoping to see from Steph Curry, which is like, just let Steph go pop a shot on an NBA court, bro. Like, just let him. I think he had 18 points in the first quarter or something.
21.
21.
Yeah.
But he was just throwing it up, bro. Like that's what we all want to see. Steph Curry at his finest. Like, please let them get into the playoffs. Please let the Utah Jazz have to play Steph Curry in the first round of the playoffs, bro. Please.
Please let Gobert have to guard Steph on a pick and roll. Please let us see that.
Into a helicopter.
Gobert step out on a pick and roll and get barbecued, okay? The defensive player of the year, you know what I mean? I want to see it, you know what I mean? I mean, shit, Murray played him off the court. I think Steph could, you know what I mean? He would fucking eat that man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I definitely, hope that we get to see Steph in a series. I don't think that they get past the first round if they do make the playoffs, but it would be a fun fucking series. Absolutely.
Dude, I sent the bat signal out when he had 19, 18, I was like, yo, Steph doing Steph Curry things. He got the chop out with the scope diddly. You know what I mean? Turn on the TV. You know what I mean? That's the only reason we watch Warriors games is when Steph is in fuck it mode. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, he had it was a terrific interview after the game with Richard Jefferson too, who was the color commentator on the game. Obviously, he played with Steph, and I love it because he held Steph, like he said, I know you're lying when you said, you're just going, okay, I'm out here trying to play or whatever. He's like, I could tell in the first quarter, you not only were going to get it, but you wanted to get it in the first quarter, and Steph admitted, he's like, yeah, you play with us, like I get a certain look in my eye and you may as well just pass it to me and start running back the other direction.
Dude, did you watch the game? Like when I was watching it, Steph was like, he letting it fly and like cheesing. There was one time where I think it was in the third. This is the third quarter because he had said it the first and third quarter because I think they were up like 15, 20 at one point. He hit somebody with a double under the leg step. He went on his leg, step back one way, under leg, step back the other way, shot the joint, turned his back on the defender before it goes in, and it's telling nobody because nobody's in the arena. You know what I mean? Looking off into the abyss, talking to the universe. Get this motherfucker off me. Somebody need to get this man off me, love. Like, that's what mood Steph was in that night. He was on one. You feel me? Like, we saw 2016 Steph, 2017 Steph, and that, you know what I mean? Talking this shit. It was beautiful to see.
So, here's Tyler retweeted this. This is like one of my favorite things I've ever seen on the internet. The Our Warriors Reddit post about, could the other four Warriors just link arms and make a little area for Steph to shoot in? Is that not, what prevents that from happening? Break it down for me.
Yeah, I do not see how that is illegal. Like, did they say on the thread if it is illegal, or because that does not seem illegal to me. It seems ridiculous and absurd, but not illegal.
And not a way to win, but I damn sure be watching the games.
But it's like I forget the name of the dude, but the dude who is like the all-time free throw doctor, he was a Long Beach student. He went to Long Beach City College, and he would do clinics at the junior college that NBA dudes would show up to. And I interviewed him, and I asked him, because it had always bugged me. I said, why doesn't anyone do the granny shot? Like, and he goes, and he said, I could teach Shaquille O'Neal, who's in the league at the time. He said, I could teach anyone to shoot 90% on granny shots. He's like, I promise you, like non-NBA players could get to 80, 90% free throw shooting that way. And he said, they just don't want to do it because you look fucking stupid. Like, and I feel like there's
Rick
a lot
Barry
of things.
is like the only one ever in the history of the NBA to ever do that, right?
But I feel like there's a lot of,
and he shot like 90% from the free throw line.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of things like that in sports. It's like, if you're willing to look stupid, like it's just that the NBA, no one's gonna be out there as Steph Curry's body shield.
Dude, Wilt Chamberlain, didn't he struggle and then shot underarm and looked, you know what I'm saying, and was like, and had like a game where he shot great, you know, underhanded, you know what I mean, with the granny shot. But he was just like, bro, I'm a whole ass grown man. The fuck I look like out here, you know, shooting like my Aunt Betty and this motherfucker, Big Mama, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm Wilt fucking Chamberlain, dog. You know what I mean? You know, I was like, damn, dog, like, how you gonna explain that, you know, to his female suitors? You know what I mean? Like, I know you will, but damn, you out there, you know, his whole, a lot of his brand was cool. There's no way. So yeah, I see, like, it doesn't look good on Instagram when you're just like, like you said, Steph's human shield for half a game, you know what I mean?
You got your 30-second.
Imagine if Shaq shot that shit like that. Yeah, I'm just thinking about, like, imagine if Shaq shot that shit like that. Yeah. Like if he was just, he fucking bodies the fuck out of a 7-footer and dunks all over them, gets the and one, and then he goes, does the granny free throw. That would be like the coolest fucking juxtaposition in NBA history, bro.
The DJ'd have to play some music for his free throws, though. We'd have to, like, it had to be like the production would have to change when he shot those fucking free throws, right? You know what I mean? Like, when he bang on that dude, was it something Donald or some shit? Threw the ball off his head, you know what I mean? Then shoots free throws over the head, underhanded. That'd be great.
I feel like Shaq could pull it off. Like, I feel like Shaq would be the only dude that is like, you can't say anything to fucking Shaq, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But I remember this quote because I think J.A. Adonde might have been the one to write it up for the LA Times when Shaq played for the Lakers. He said, quote, I would rather shoot it 0% from the free throw line than shoot it granny style, bro.
Very Shaq. I get it.
Yeah.
And low key, I agree.
Yeah, I understand.
Low key, it's something about that granny shot that just don't sit right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, unfortunately for the NBA, for anyone who does a podcast, the two recurring segments this year are people saying stupid shit on social media. Green check. We're done with that one. And season-ending injuries or long injuries for big-time NBA players. This week, it's Jamal Murray, who's out with the torn ACL for the Nuggets. I was actually watching the game. I want to say it was like under a minute left.
50-something seconds left.
He just reached out a little bit too far with that leg, came down awkward, and did the ACL. I feel like I'm hearing a growing consensus of people, including some players, who are pinning this on the decision to only have a 70-something day off season. John's been talking about it for a while. Josh Hart tweeted, too many players getting hurt with a shortened season. Facepalm emoji, need to not do this one again. Injuries are tough because there's such freak occurrences, but how much do we really feel confident at this point that the NBA has to evaluate itself and say, we fucked this up?
Think about the MVP race.
I mean,
go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like Mike said, of course, these are freak occurrences, but I mean, I don't think you can deny that with more exertion, these freak occurrences happen at a higher rate. You know what I mean? And that's what I think we've been getting this season. It took away the rookie of the year race when it took LaMelo out. It fucking shitted all over the MVP race. Like, who knows who's going to get that? Like, it's just been an abysmal season in regards to the fun shit to invest in, for fans, for these races, for these rookie of the year races, these MVP races, these seeding races. Now we won't get Jamal Murray in the playoffs after the Nuggets won a whole lot of people over with their performance last postseason. It just sucks all around, man.
I know I was reading something where it says like, like with, ligament things or whatever, like what, and this is what's going on with AD is where like a calf is fatigued. And so it starts to put more pressure on the ligament. And when you don't have it, as long as the off season, the body doesn't get a chance to repair. And think about that, 82 games, they're playing the vast, 9 months if you're fighting for, a chip, you know what I'm saying? And then, then like you got basically 2 months. You cut, the offseason damn near in half. It's like, and we look at like we talk about players like LeBron, like, bro, you can't play with that. And then you give a team like LA the most back-to-backs. I don't think it's a coincidence that Murray and them were on a back-to-back. They had just played the Celtics.
Well, I think they played 5 games in 7 days, and I know he didn't play in all the games, but you're just again like. I just don't know who it benefits. It benefits the TV contracts. Like, so I understand that dynamic. I understand it benefits the TV contracts, but how much does it hurt everything about the league that, if I'm being honest with you, I mean, the 3 of us know a lot of diehard NBA fans. I don't know anyone who's excited about this shit right now, bro. Like everybody is just like, hopefully people are healthy enough to make the playoffs good. But between the fact that you can't have fans really in the arena, and the fact that everyone's hurt, everyone knows that the regular season at this point is more or less meaning. Like, does anyone feel like the Jazz are going to win the West? Right? You know what I mean?
Think so, but do we care? And
that's what I'm saying.
And would it happen if we're healthy? You know what I mean? Like, they're a good team, but I don't know if like
you look at like. Tyler, you were tweeting about when we were talking about Steph Curry, you were tweeting about this season, you knew that they were going to get 73 wins that season, like a week into the season. Yeah. Like it was just that obvious. Yeah. I feel like that's really the last time I mean, it's been a while since people were really invested in the regular season like that, bro. And the problem with the NBA is the regular season is long. That's a long time for people to not be invested. But when you have dudes getting hurt, dudes sitting, which they almost have to because of the way the NBA put the schedule together. It's like, I mean, you try and get excited for that Lakers Nets game and there's 3 Hall of Famers missing from the court, right? Like the Nets are playing tonight, KD sitting out, Harden sitting out, no one's playing tonight. So it just feels like it doesn't even feel like we had a regular season this year. It feels like a really long preseason that's going to lead into the playoffs is basically what it feels like to me.
Like Tyler saying, talking about the MVP race. You look at that, like everybody like that, who hasn't set out, I mean, I think at this point, like, Joker's numbers are incredible, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it makes sense. He's shooting like almost has a triple double off of close to 50, 40, 90. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. You know what I mean? But like, it's not really a race, partly because he's just been healthy. You know what I mean? Like he's just stayed healthy because like, Harden's gone down. You know what I'm saying? Like people are talking about CP3 in the MVP race now. And I'm like, are we really like, this is where we're going? The man's averaging 16 points a game. He's great. You know what I mean? I think he's the best player on his team. I think he's probably the most important player on the team. But it's how far
Steve
we're going.
Nash got 2 MVPs. Be like a 15-point game.
And that was wrong. Those were Kobe. That one of those was Kobe's for sure. You know what I mean? So I'm like, dog, like let's not stretch it out. Like this is what we're doing now due to just like, it's just all these injuries to all the guys, like, you know what I mean? And also with the Nuggets, they were playing great prior to that loss with the Celtics. You know what I mean? They were playing great. You know what I'm saying? And now, now that their season is a wrap. And like I said, they were on a back-to-back. You said they played 5 games in 7 days. He didn't play all of them, but come on, man. It's taking away the things we love about basketball. And yes, you want that Christmas money, but what do you lose for that? You know what I mean?
But at what cost?
At what cost? Are we chasing a dollar? You know what I mean?
Well, it's gotten to the point that Mark Cuban, obviously an NBA owner who is very financially savvy guy, could waste $1 billion a year for the rest of his life and still have money, an infinite amount of money, essentially. Like he's even questioning the extent to which the NFL was sort of chasing money. He came out last week and said he and Luka both said that they thought it was a quote enormous mistake to have the play-in games that we're going to have at the end of the regular season, with the 7 and the 8 seed playing for the 7 seed and the 9 and the 10 seed playing for the 8 seed, just because of what we just talked about. So we're losing all these games. You know, they've lost. It's a slightly compressed schedule due to COVID. They go, we're going to throw these extra games right before the playoffs start. And I mean, when Mark Cuban, who by the way was one of the NBA owners approved this plan unanimously. So he was one of the people who voted for it. But when you have Mark Cuban sitting here a couple months from the playoffs talking about, I think we overdid it this year chasing money. Like, that's not a dude who's bad at chasing money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the playing games this season. I understood them last season with the, you know, games that we lost. You know, we lost about fucking 25, 30 games out the schedule. So I understood them then, but I don't know, man, just having like 10 seeds out there, like, you know, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm sure I'm probably going to fucking love them because they're going to be incredible, but we'll see.
It'll be fun, but like at what cost? You know what I mean? With what's going on with COVID, you know what I'm saying? Like adding more games, anything that's in addition with what's going on outside of basketball is difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like it's probably not the best idea at this time. Like we talked about Tatum, you know what I'm saying? Like him catching COVID and having to, you know, before every game hit an inhaler. You know what I mean? Like, you know, dog, let's minimize the risk as much as possible for these players. And I don't think that's what they're doing with that playing shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the playing shit should be something that doesn't happen every season, but something like, say, you have to win the 8th seed by 1 game. Like if you're just a half a game over the 9th seed, y'all should play in. And that should probably only happen every few years, and it'll make it a moment more than just if it's every fucking season. You know?
But fuck a 10 seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Cuban's point was basically, if we're going to do a tournament, we should do a full tournament, which a couple other people, I think Simmons has put that out there. Just do, for the bottom 2 seeds, just do a full tournament. You know, I mean, just do like an NCAA style bracket. The NBA's obviously played with the idea of doing a mid-season tournament, you know, with the championship. That it's interesting because everything's so linear in American professional sports, but they do this in Europe. If you follow the EPL, you follow soccer, it's a common thing outside of America for there to be different kinds of championships that the same teams can win. And to be honest with you, this year is I've always been someone who kind of brushed away the NBA naysayers as, you know, sometimes it's racially motivated, sometimes it's just sort of grumpy old people. This year certainly made me feel like they got to figure something else different out with the regular season. Because teams are too conscious now around health. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. They're too conscious of how valuable it is for everyone to be healthy at the start of the playoffs. So no one's playing an 82 game season, bro. No one's going balls to the wall to where it makes sense for people to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday watching these fucking games. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to figure out a tweak or something to inject some life into this stuff. That's what it feels like to me. I don't know if the playing stuff is it, but they're going to have to figure something out.
Who created balls to the wall?
A white person.
Who's the first person to say, I'm going balls to the fucking wall, bro? You know what I mean? Like, damn, balls to the wall? That sounds insane when you really think about it. The first time you heard that, you probably would be like, "What's the balls to the wall?" Anyway, that shit is. I'm looking up the etymology of balls to the wall, man. I just when you said that, I'm like, damn, like we just say that like it's normal. Going balls to the wall is insane. You know what I mean? That's some other shit. I don't think I've ever gone balls to the wall. You know what I mean?
I feel like that shit definitely probably came about in the 80s or something. I definitely feel like a young 80s white guy invented that. Like after watching Top Gun or some shit.
Right.
That movie was balls to the wall.
There was some cocaine involved probably.
It was
probably a Chevy. Yeah, Chevy was involved in the balls to the wall. You know what I mean?
It came about, the earliest known reference to it is in 1969, and it was indeed the United States Air Force Academy, Tyler.
Top Gun. I told you someone watched Top Gun. How the fuck, bro? That's crazy.
Balls to the wall.
So balls out it's taking balls out and then just making it into a rhyme like pedal to the metal. So that was their thing, like push the plane balls to the wall.
Push it to the limit.
Balls to the wall. That's an interesting mind that comes up.
Balls
with
to the
that.
wall.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's our show for the week. Thank you so much to everyone for tapping in. Be sure to subscribe, give us 5 stars and all that good shit. And we'll see you guys on Monday next week. Peace.
Never go balls to the wall. Never.